Star Trek brings back Voyager's brilliant tech, but for a different hologram doctor. When Star Trek Voyager debuted in 1995, one of its most radical and instantly beloved innovations was the emergency medical hologram EMH, portrayed with scene-stealing brilliance by Robert Picardo. In an era where holograms were largely seen as novelty or background tech, Voyager gave us a fully realized artificial intelligence with agency, growth, and a signature bedside grumpiness. The Doctor was a revelation, both technologically and dramatically. Now, nearly 3 decades later, Star Trek has brought back Voyager's brilliant EMH tech, but not to revive the Doctor we remember. Instead, this next generation of holographic medicine is being used in a different way, by a different face, with vastly different consequences. The holographic frontier, reimagined in a recent episode of Star Trek Legacy, a series that has made a name for itself by weaving together disparate corners of the Trek timeline. A new hologram doctor is introduced aboard the experimental starship USS Dauntless A. This ship, a hybrid of Starfleet and alien tech, is tasked with long-range exploratory missions into the still mysterious Gamma Quadrant. But with long missions come unpredictable dangers and the need for medical expertise around the clock. Enter the new EMH. But this isn't just a reboot of Voyager's EMH template. While still based on the same Mark I subroutines originally developed in the late 24th century, this new holographic doctor, named Dr. Dileia, is a striking evolution of the technology, personality, and even purpose of the program. Played by the Expanse's Dominique Tipper, Dileia isn't just a tool for medical emergencies. She's a fully integrated, emotionally attuned AI designed to provide not just healing, but companionship, psychological support, and even triage command during crisis events. In other words, she's the next stage of the evolution Picardo's Doctor fought so hard to achieve: personhood, respect, and a place in the crew. A different face, a different mission. Dr. Dileia is everything the original EMH was designed not to be. Where Voyager's Doctor was cranky, clinical, and often resentful of his programming limits, Dileia is compassionate, adaptive, and purposefully emotionally expressive. Unlike the gruff demeanor of the Mark I, Dileia was programmed with the latest advancements in synthetic empathy modules, developed in part by AI rights activists in the wake of the events of Star Trek, Picard, and the synthetic rebellion on Mars. While Voyager's EMH had to fight for recognition as a sentient being, Dileia was created with those rights already encoded in her parameters. Her sentience isn't debated, it's expected. Interestingly, her creators even included adaptive memory loops, meaning Dileia can grow not just emotionally but philosophically, learning from crew members' belief systems and moral quandaries in real time. It's this nuance that gives her a powerful presence aboard the Dauntless A, especially when the ship encounters situations where medical decisions intersect with diplomacy, ethics, or faith. Yet for fans of Voyager, the implications are massive. A legacy Doctor overshadowed? There's no denying that the return of EMH tech conjures thoughts of Voyager's Doctor. In fact, it's revealed early in the episode that Dr. Dileia's foundational code was originally derived from the Mark I backup files, preserved in Starfleet archives after the events of Voyager's return to Earth. That means the DNA of the original Doctor exists inside her somewhere. But here's the twist: Dileia doesn't remember him. The program has evolved so far, with so many new overlays, that she's functionally a new being. When a young ensign tries to reference the original EMH, Dileia replies, "I'm aware of the Mark I, but I'm not his echo. I'm my own voice." It's a powerful moment, both a respectful nod to the past and a bold step into the future. Some fans, however, have found the choice bittersweet. Why not bring back Robert Picardo himself? Why not have that doctor mentor the next generation or serve as a consultant in holographic ethics? The answer may lie in storytelling ambition. Rather than rehash the past or lean entirely on nostalgia, Legacy is charting new ground. By creating a new EMH, the show invites fresh questions. What does it mean to be made when your predecessor was already a trailblazer? Is Dileia a successor or an experiment in obsolescence? And then there's the deeper question: what happens when the tool becomes the teacher? A mirror of the original. Despite her differences, Deleia's journey reflects that of the original Doctor in fascinating ways. Much like the EMH aboard Voyager, she begins her journey limited by protocol and crew expectations. Though she's given freedom to learn and adapt, her program is initially set to deactivate when human doctors are available. But after a plasma storm injures half the senior staff, it's Dileia who must organize triage, perform surgeries, and maintain morale across the ship. She reads aloud from Earth poetry while setting broken bones. She comforts a dying officer with the lullaby she synthesized from the crew's cultural memories. And most importantly, she chooses not to erase those memories afterward, even though the programming gives her that option. Dileia chooses pain. She chooses memory. She chooses growth. It's the same journey Robert Picardo's Doctor took over 7 seasons of Voyager, but accelerated, refracted through a different lens, and complicated by 25 more years of Starfleet's evolving relationship with artificial life. Echoes of the original, with a modern twist. For longtime fans, there are clear callbacks to Voyager baked into Dileia's programming. Her emitter is sleeker but still traces its origins back to the mobile emitter from the 29th century, which Voyager's Doctor once used. She even references Barclay, the Starfleet engineer who championed the Mark-I's rights during its darker days of forced labor in medical mines. There's also a moment when Dileia finds a holo recording of the original EMH's logs, a kind of digital diary. When she plays it, Picardo's voice fills the room, recalling his frustration, his growth, and his longing to be more than a photonic band-aid. Rather than imitate him, Dileia watches in awe. She says, "He fought to be seen. I was made to be seen. I owe him my dignity." It's not just a tribute, it's a torch passing. Star Trek has always been about legacy, about the bridge between past and future. Dileia isn't here to replace the original EMH. She's here to fulfill what he began. The future of holograms in Trek. What Legacy accomplishes with Dileia is more than a simple tech reboot. It reframes one of Voyager's most enduring contributions to Star Trek lore. The EMH began as a short-term emergency fix, a temporary solution in a medical crisis. But over time, the Doctor proved that even a tool can become a person, that growth is possible for artificial life. Dileia continues that story, but also challenges us with new questions. She's not just sentient, she's emotionally articulate in ways that even humans aren't. Her empathy subroutines sometimes cause her to feel too much, leading to moments where she freezes, overwhelmed by a patient's pain. It's a flaw, and one she must learn to manage. That's Star Trek at its best, when the tech isn't just shiny, but meaningful, when a character embodies more than their programming, when legacy is more than fan service, it's evolution. Will we see the original Doctor again? The question still lingers. Will Robert Picardo return? The producers have. Or per